The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is a #1 contenders match for the North American Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. It is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Your referee is Johnny Swift. Introducing first, from Corleone, Italy, weighing 227 pounds, the Strangler, Corleone. Who's the black and red streak down his neck, but he's going with a somewhat clean-cut, monstrous attitude. But don't let that fool you,
he seems to have a growing heel contingent with him here now in Whiting, Indiana. Smelled that coat?
I'm scared.
All right, you do have an expensive watch.
You want to be #1 contender, Diego? You got to do it again tonight against an opponent that has more credentials than maybe anyone that has ever stepped into a North American Pro Wrestling ring. Homicide's here, and it's for real. Homicide. Nearly 20 years of pro in the business, but believe it or not, is just a couple of months into his 35th year of existence. This man started wrestling at 16 years of age. Former TNA X Division champion, former tag team champion with Hernandez, and probably in this past decade would argue $5 for his coat. Really? Oh, he just spiked it on the floor.
Wow. I'm afraid to get near the ring.
Homicide against Diego Corleone. Winner gets Paulie Tomaselli tomorrow night in Melbourne. A stare down. Homicide not intimidated by Diego Corleone. This man's from Brooklyn, New York. He brings the fight to anybody. This man teamed up with Low Key and formed the most dangerous tag team combination in junior tag team wrestling history in Japan, winning tag team titles. And this man has been all over the planet, and he has been a successful Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion as well.
He's a Brooklyn dog. Once again, we got another week of these guys coming into TNA. Coming from TNA and Ring of Honor and all these other places, thinking they can come in here and be a #1 contender for the NAPW belt.
The scariest thing about Homicide is this. Not only is he hard-hitting, not only is he a great scientific grappler, but he has dangerous submissions, dangerous suplexes and drops. And not only that, the man does suicide dives and lips and flies like the best of them.
Apparently, he's found a girlfriend in the front row over there.
Let me tell you a little bit about this man, Oakland. He has defeated CM Punk, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. This man is a big deal.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Who am I talking to? The Brain?
Yes.
So you already knew
I happen to watch, watch wrestling and pay attention to wrestling, read about wrestling. I live wrestling.
This man is definitely capable of using high-risk moves to win.
And probably stealing a few cars, too.
His tough upbringing in New York has put him in a position where he is not intimidated by taking on men 2, 3, 4 times his size.
I guess you got to be tough to live in New York. They land planes in the river in New York.
Just to tell you how long this man Homicide's in the business, at one time he was mentored and managed by Gary Hart, Playboy Gary Hart. Can you believe that?
Wow.
That is impressive. Gary Hart,
really impressive?
One of the best promoters and businessmen.
He was managed by Gary Hart and mentored by Gary Hart, and he's still alive.
Gary Hart had actually passed away.
I'm not talking about Gary Hart. I'm talking about wrestlers that were mentored by Gary Hart.
Oh, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, the history of world class definitely is a video you should check out on Big Vision Entertainment. I am not going to hype that video much more than that. I already did too much. Homicide bullies Diego into the corner, and he just raked the skin right off of his body, right off of his chest and stomach. And Diego is not a happy camper.
I don't like the way he's treating our guy, my guy.
What you might not know about Homicide is that he has been successful in training well over 30 known independent wrestling talents, including the current WWE superstar Ezekiel Jackson, among several others.
Ezekiel Jackson. When was the last time I saw him?
The man's been on a losing streak, but it's not necessarily his fault. But maybe he's lost his focus.
Look, Ken, I'm just not happy with these guys that come in here thinking they can become #1 contenders. We have guys that are here week after week, month after month.
He was trying to hit that cutter there, that gringo cutter, and if he hit that, that would have been all over. You might not be happy with this, Oakland, but the truth is, people know that North American Pro Wrestling is where the best wrestle. Look at this. The Strangler punching Homicide in the head, and Homicide's body.
And we're going to the bricks again.
Oh, he just threw him into those steel unforgiving bleachers surrounding this gymnasium. A chair to the midsection. Look at Homicide. Oh, he threw Diego into the wall.
I'm telling you, the big losers here tonight happen to be the chairs. The chairs are taking a beating.
Into the post he goes.
Oh, look at his mouth hit the post.
A chop for extra measure. Unbelievable. These men are brutalizing each other.
What has he got in his hand?
What is that object?
It looks like a Coke can.
I don't know if he...
Hey, things so better with Coke.
He crushed it. He was going to scrape his skin right off of his body.
Well, he is suicidal. Nope, wrong guy.
Arm drag takeover.
Wrong guy.
And this is what I'm telling you. Homicide is equal to the task in terms of scientific grappling, and he's biting his fingers. He just put that index finger nearly right off of his butt. That hand. Oh my goodness, this man is sick. But when you grow up in Brooklyn, New York, and you have to you have to crawl, scratch, and claw your way into some sort of
Spit it out,
stability.
Okerlund. It's been 10 minutes. I mean, Kenton, you got me confused.
Oh, Diego's fighting back.
You know what's sick about that? What's totally sick?
What?
Is Diego touched that coat, and that Homicide put Diego's fingers in his mouth.
That is disgusting. Wow, look at that floating arm drag with ease.
Not only that, who knows what's in the hair on them boots?
The fuzzy boots are on. They're at full strength. Diego Corleone would like nothing more than to regain his North American Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And he has to get a rematch somehow, some way, and he hasn't scored a one-on-one rematch with Paulie Tomaselli yet, and he feels that if he has to Homicide, he'll do it. It does not matter to him.
I gotta make sure when the show's over, I run out and make sure my hubcaps are still here before
Oh, wow, another arm drag takeover. Did you notice the front side of Diego? I can tell that there's already a laceration on his chest, and he is bleeding.
Yeah, he slapped him pretty good.
It was the first move of the match where he raked the skin right off of his body with those fingernails. Oh, wow, look at that. Drapes the left arm over his shoulder, twists it around, attacking the left shoulder. He goes over it multiple times, twists around.
Maybe this Homicide is serious about adding an NAPW belt to his collection.
And I'm sure Homicide heard about what Diego did to Shark Boy with that tombstone pile driver, and Homicide wants a measure of revenge for Shark Boy, possibly. You never know. Back elbow. Homicide wasn't expecting that.
Diego's chest looks like he went out with an old girlfriend of mine.
Hip lock takeover. The Strangler is already battered and bruised and brutalized. Oh, look at this. Homicide might be going for some sort of a powerbomb here. He might be even trying for that cop killer. If he hits that, no one will get up from that. A variation of the vertebraker. Backbreaker by Diego.
There you go, choking.
Diego's arsenal of moves includes the Cobra Clutch and that devastating tombstone pile driver. But Homicide, when he hits the Gringo Cutter, if he can hit the cop killer, if he can nail the frog splash, the Kimura arm lock, the neck vices, the step over toe hold, the West Brooklyn lariat. I mean, the arsenal of this man Homicide is endless. It's infinite. And the Strangler knows that his chances to take Homicide and brutalize him are very few and far in between, and he needs to take advantage of it every second he can.
Now he's working. I like the way Diego's working on the lower back of Homicide.
Over and over again. You might notice that the Strangler, every time he has Homicide in a compromising position, he goes straight for the neck, he goes straight for the throat, and he tries to strangle the man. Homicide grabs a hold of that noose. I don't think that's so smart. That noose has slivers all over it. What is he doing now? Oh, he's trying to choke him with that noose.
Autoerotic, what is that?
I don't know what you mean.
That autoerotic asphyxiation? Is that what he's trying to get into over there?
I don't sense that.
Oh, here we go.
Rear chin lock. The Strangler has Homicide down. The fans in Whiting, Indiana realize what's at stake. If Homicide loses this match, he loses his chance tomorrow night to take on Paulie Tomaselli for the North American Pro Wrestling Heavyweight title. And more importantly, the Strangler gets the rematch he wanted from day one ever since he lost the title in what he claims was an unjustified manner.
I'm with him.
I mean, the Strangler did pin Paulie Tomaselli in the first fall of that 2 out of 4 falls match. So technically, if it was a 1-fall match and a triple threat, he would still be champion.
We're back to 2 out of 4 again.
Well, that might
Can't we leave that in the past?
Well, it's still, as history would dictate, is the single most controversial match in North American Pro Wrestling history so far. Controversial match in North American Pro Wrestling history so far, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because they put the belt on Tomaselli.
Well, not only that, he won the match after he had been pinned twice. He got pinned twice, and then he scored the last 2 wins, and then all of a sudden he's the champion? How does that work?
Yeah.
He lost twice, and he wins the title. I don't get it.
Yeah, he lost half.
Look at that! He turned his body into a ball, and he just shot put on himself. My goodness, he just whipped that chair right into the face of Diego. Downstairs he goes.
Here we go.
Watch out! Oh, man. Nearly went head first into that chair. This action has gone all over the place. Forearm. Right hand. Into the ring goes Homicide. This match has been dangerous ever since the opening bell. Now we have fans moving the furniture.
I'm beginning to think the chairs ought to be #1 contenders the way they've been taking a beating.
I don't know, to be a chair in North American Pro Wrestling, you gotta have a track record. You gotta have some sort of a reputation.
It looks like Diego's worn out, Homicide. Homicide looks completely exhausted and worn out now. Look at him.
Oh, he just whipped that coat right into his eye. If that zipper hit his eye, he might not be able to see. You could lose an eyeball that way. Oh, what a slap to the chest of Diego. That was devastating.
Thunderous slap.
Oh my goodness, that was electrocution style. Watch out. Homicide has him hooked. Snap suplex. We could be seeing the Three Amigos, courtesy of Homicide's favorite megastar, Eddie Guerrero. And he tries to hit the third one, but Diego blocks it. Oh, and another chop. The Strangler. Angelo-like legs. Hooked up in a belly-to-back suplex. What I've noticed so far is that the Strangler Diego Corleone has matched Homicide move for move, which I wasn't expecting.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. With the exception of Tomaselli, this has been some of the toughest competition I've seen Diego go up against in recent weeks. I mean, this has been a rough match for Corleone.
Tomorrow night in Elburn, I would say that whoever wins this match will definitely have their wits tested, as they would have to square up against Paulie Tomaselli, and both of these men would make worthy contenders. Wouldn't you agree?
Both of these men could be extremely tired and worn out and physically dead tomorrow against Tomaselli. Tomaselli's got to be sitting backstage somewhere thinking, man, this is great, because whoever I face is going to be half beaten to death tomorrow night.
Great point. Tomaselli is at the advantage watching these two men brutalize each other. Oh, he landed, and that right knee might have buckled a little bit. Homicide did the smart thing. He rolled towards the corner, and he took care of himself first. The Strangler, you got to watch out for the Strangler. He might be trying to lure Homicide into a trap. Right shoulder tackle by Homicide. The wrist tape is off. Now it's time to let the fist fly. Oh, man.
3 stiff shots by Homicide.
The Strangler in a lot of trouble here.
Come on, Diego.
Nice suplex. Homicide feeling it from these fans. Homicide taking it to high-risk territory as he climbs to the top rope.
Diego could be in serious
trouble. He's
trouble.
Fly! Flying headbutt! The Strangler! His championship hopes might be totally gone! He got the left shoulder up again. Homicide thought he won. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Is that a 3 count? That's the question, but it was a 2. Wow, that was awfully close. Awfully close. Homicide with the first closest near fall of this match. That must have been 2 7/10. Oh, the chops, and the Strangler
almost
nearly got
the ring backwards.
Man, he could have taken a devastating fall on his head that way. Clothesline by the Strangler. The Strangler senses an opportunity. He tried for the big boot. Big boat cutter! Big boat cutter! Oh my God!
Can you believe what you just saw?
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner and the #1 contender for the North American Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, the notorious Homicide! That was amazing! And Homicide and Tomaselli are on a collision course tomorrow night!
You want to know something now? Tomaselli's got to do some homework and some studying now. Uh-oh. Look here, Steve.
Oh, Paulie Tomaselli's here.